We are just a couple of days away from maybe one of the greatest college football games in the last decade or more. Alabama, LSU, #1 versus #2, and everybody is going to be watching on Saturday. Which brings up a very interesting point. Why do we want a college football playoff system? Why? I have been against a college football playoff system since day one. You know why? Because if you had a college football playoff and you had a 16-team playoff, this game would be meaningless. Nobody would care about Alabama, LSU, because the loser would get to go to the playoffs anyway. Same thing with Stanford and their game coming up against Oregon. How big is that game for Stanford to stay in the mix to win the national championship? Oh, Oklahoma State, the Bedlam game, that would mean nothing as well. You see, what's great about college football is that week by week by week, we have great games that have meaning. If you have a 16-team playoff, these games are meaningless. Who cares that Clemson lost to Georgia Tech last week? They're going to be in the playoffs. No, what I like is that Clemson lost, and they're done now as far as the national championship is concerned. I've never understood the argument that people make for wanting a playoff. You will make the entire regular season irrelevant, and I mean irrelevant, if you have a 16-team playoff. I like this system the way it is. Every week there are meaningful games, and this week none is bigger than LSU at Alabama. The winner will play for the national championship, the loser won't. In a couple of weeks, Stanford is going to take on Oregon, and if they lose that game, they're done for the national championship. And the same thing with Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. The loser of that game is out. The winner will have a great chance at playing for the national championship. That's what makes college football special. It's not college basketball where you need a March Madness. They play 35 regular season games in college basketball. In college football, we get 11 or 12 games. You don't need a playoff because every single week in college football is already a playoff. That's why I'm totally against a playoff system in college football, and I like things just the way they are.